ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death? Find a note.
It looks like a giant ape with a man's face.
We've done some testing to determine if it is.
All right, folks, this is Chasing the Truth. I'm Shawn Graham, your host for this evening on the Dark Waters radio channel over on the Paranormal radio app, also on Chasing the Truth Shawn G YouTube channel. So if you happen to be over on the Paranormal radio app, doesn't cost anything to like, share, and subscribe over there. So if you want to donate to me, go over there and donate a like, donate a share, and definitely donate a subscribe. That'd definitely help this channel out a whole lot. And holy cow, what a week, what a week, what a week. Let's see, who do we have over here? How am I sounding? Am I coming across all right? Let's see. We got Razor, Steve. Hey, Razor, what's going on, brother? Gene, Fox, Green Mountain Droning, Steve. Admiral Thoria is going to go get something to eat. Marquita, thanks for accepting that wrench. James, let's see what else we got. How's it going? Hey, it's a going there. Getting ready to crank up the open lines. And tonight is Unscreened Open Lines. That means, unscreened meaning, when you call 931-994-6917, you get me, nobody else. And you'll be automatically on air. There is no waiting in line as of right now. So, great. Let's see. I got this. Why is the closed captioning not working on my end? So, that's interesting. But anyway, for whatever reason, the closed captioning is not working on my end. Hopefully that's what I was using in the past to make sure my audio was coming through. Now, wow. Everybody has been first time watching. Tammy C, thanks for jumping in. Definitely appreciate you dropping by for the first time. And I think this is like the third live show I've had over here, besides over on the Dark Waters channel. Heck, I've had like almost 160 shows over there, give or take a show here and there. But this is the third time I've been live over here, and definitely weird stuff coming up. The big thing, if you guys have known me for the last 3 or 4 shows, we've been talking about that Cocke County, Tennessee animal attack. Hey, Dale, what's going on? Steve Riley, what's happening? I already said Steve Riley. Gee willikers. Holy cow. Hold on just a second. Let me restart this thing over here and see if my closed captioning will pop up again over here. Let's see. We never know if it's going or not or whatever. Hopefully there is no craziness there. And nope. That's wild. Something must be up. But anyway, that being said, let's get this show started here. Chasing the Truth. If you've heard about the Cocke County, Tennessee, it's a little bit south of Knoxville, Tennessee, if you guys know where you are. Odell does, I'm sure. Chase, what's going on? Got a good story from this guy on the road. Oh, man, I'd love to hear it, Chase. Love to hear it. So what are we going to do next? Well, let me jump aboard here and pull up. Let's do an update on that Cocke County, Tennessee thing. Okay, folks, hold on just a second. Make sure I got all this stuff up and running and get you to see what I'm seeing. Okay. Hey, Bigfoot and on. All right. So what just happened in the last few weeks, back in April 1st and mid-July, there was a couple of animal attacks, quote-unquote animal attacks, unknown animal attacks, other than they just identified animal attacks. Over in Cocke County, Tennessee, the first one in April 1st, there was a gentleman, and unfortunately he passed away. At the scene, depends on where you hear that actual description of what happened. But that actual that actual account is, neither here nor there, but there's always kind of crazy stuff. But this was from, I think, hold on just a second, let me make sure I'm looking at this correctly. This actual story was published the 19th, updated on the 28th. Now, if it's just an animal attack, like a dog, in which, that's what they're trying to say was a couple, 2 or 3 aggressive dogs attacked a man. Okay? So, that being said, why in the hell would an aggressive dog taken, let's go back here. Aggressive dog taken into custody after Cocke County SWAT, let me repeat, SWAT team executes a search in deadly animal attack investigation. Can you explain that to me? Why would a SWAT team need to be involved in what should be an animal control issue? Hey, Bigfoot and on, what's going on there, Connor? So why, tell me that. Why would a SWAT team need to be involved in what I would assume would be animal control? And maybe a cop or a law enforcement of some sort, not a SWAT member. Why would a SWAT member need to be there? Now, I do know that, the animal control are armed. They are here. I'm assuming that they are in Cocke County, Tennessee. It's not that far from me. Gee whiz. Now, that being said, I can't remember if it was on this channel or over on Dark Waters, but Ball Nightmares called in, said he actually had boots on the ground in Cocke County, Tennessee, and went and, did some investigations, talked to some EMT folks about this. And I'll, for the folks that haven't heard that end of the story, I'll try to recount that for you. But let's see. There was another story about the Cocke County leaders meet to address the deadly animal attacks, which, of course, as of right now, nobody is saying they're dog attacks. Just unknown animals. They've got some DNA from the dogs or whatever that they captured with that SWAT team. Who knows what the heck's going on there? Let's see what else we got here. There's an autopsy of the Newport man, the fellow that died at the scene and was transported over and died. Was pronounced dead, but he was unresponsive at the scene, according to the reports. Let's see. Here's the Cocke County animal attack update. Investigation leads to search of home. DNA from a dogs, D-O-G-S, recovered. Knoxville, Tennessee, W-A-T-E. An investigation into the deaths of 2 people in Cocke County led to Sheriff's Department SWAT team to a home where a man was arrested and DNA from 2 dogs was taken. Now, why couldn't they just put those frickin' dogs into a kennel somewhere, animal control, whatever? Or why couldn't animal control just went and grab the dogs and say, hey, we're going to do this, and, politely take the owner of the 2 dogs into custody or whatever it is? I have no clue. But why does a SWAT member have to be involved in this particular thing? I have no clue. And again, that being said, if you heard anything from, I think it was not this last weekend, maybe the show before, I talked to, Bald Nightmares called in my show, said, hey, brother, got a update on that Cocke County, Tennessee dog attack. Now, I'm going to try to recount what he told me live on air when he called in. And, gee whiz, all I can tell you, folks, is what Walt told me. He said he got down there in the last couple of weeks, something like that. And talked to not only some EMT, he went to the Sheriff's Department. I think he actually tried to talk to the Cocke County Sheriff himself. I forgot what that fellow's name is, but said can't discuss anything like this, and it was in Kentucky's district now. Kentucky's hound list. Kentucky State Wildlife is involved in this. Federal boys. So, that being said, those federal boys up in Kentucky, supposedly, according to Vault, is taking over the investigation. So, Cocke County Sheriff can't say anything about it. But there was, let me see, autopsy on the victim number 1 from April 1st, as you can see popping up here on the thing. But according to Vault, he investigated, found out where the attacks occurred. He went to the scenes, and according to him, they were sanitized, meaning the scenes were sanitized. He said it looked like it was clear cut and ready to have a new house planted on it, built on there. But that being said, he said he tracked these creatures. He said they were dogmen. He said there's some Bigfoot tracks, but they were a few weeks old. But he tracked them up through past Knoxville, up toward Kentucky. And he said there were 2 dogmen involved in this. And then he lost their tracks in a clearing up near Kentucky, and I think he's still in Tennessee, if I remember correctly. Said the individuals turned from 2 individual dogmen up to, I think there was 12, a dozen of them, or 15. He said this was the largest pack of dogmen that he's ever seen. And he said the clearing is like the blade wash from a double-bladed chopper. You could tell by that from his, what he said. You could tell by the way the plants, trees, and whatnot popped up and laid over. He said, looked like a double-bladed large helicopter set down or hovered over, and all 12 or 15, I think there was a dozen, dogmen disappeared. All tracks disappeared. He said it looked like the chopper come in, picked them up, and blew off. That being said, that's what Vault told me. And if you, hey, there's Jean Paul. What's going on? Salute. Big Balls Deep. What's up? Thanks, Marquita, again for being a wrench holder. Stimulate. What's going on? San Francisco should change the name to Cocke City. Cokke. That's interesting. But anyway, that is the update. Now, that being said, the lady from mid-July, April, I think was her name, she passed away a few days later. Now, the strange thing about that, all the news reports that I had seen up till about a couple of days ago said that she was in hospital. Still in hospital, but apparently she died like 3 days later in hospital. So where that report, I actually saw a reporter report that she was alive in a hospital in intensive care unit. That being said, folks, that's the updates I've got for you. And I still, the one thing that just doesn't pan out for me, why is a SWAT team involved with what was an animal attack, or what is trying to be said was a dog attack? Why isn't animal control doing this, and why is the SWAT team involved? I don't know. Just strange stuff that when you're chasing the truth, you got to actually use 2 of your brain cells and rub them together, like I do occasionally, and get these things out and kind of make sense of the world. If you sit there and get spoon-fed, whatever the mainstream media is feeding, and you believe every freaking word that they're trying to hand out to you, well, hell, you're one confused person, because they change their stories constantly. And I don't know why they think that, we, the consumer of the news, have memories as short as the nose on the end of our face. John Paul says the Dogmen sound like they were from the program. Don't know. That's interesting to say, but what do you think? Thaddeus Cray, Wes, what's up, brother? Thank you for making it here. For the folks that are here, that are just showing up, please share this out. If you want to donate a share, donate a like. If you don't care to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. That right there is a donation and a half. Just subscribe. Doesn't cost you a thing. Just subscribe to my channel. Share it out, like it, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your dogs, your cats, your neighbor's dog that keeps you up in the middle of the night. Every time somebody walks by and barks your head off, which is a pretty good alarm system, but you never know. That being said. Anyway, tonight is Unscreened Open Lines. My update for the Cocke County, Tennessee quote-unquote animal attack, which they're trying to lead you to believe that is an aggressive animal attack, but officially, even the autopsy report says it's unknown animal attack. They've got some DNA from it, but what do you suspect that they don't tell you in the future? What that DNA comes out to be? Unknown canine, maybe? Who knows? Let's see. Fuck stick. Considering who is in D.C. right now, would surprise me if they are doing test runs. Then eventually you leashing them upon the American people. Unleashing. Okay, gotcha. Micah, what's going on? So, what are you guys drinking tonight? I've got medium dark roast. I think I got McCafe roast in my cup. I went in there and made it just before I come on, before I kicked the old mixer in high gear. I saw Bigfoot Anonymous, Connor Flynn, in there just a few minutes ago. So, that being said, folks, this is Unscreened Open Lines. If you want me to talk, don't call. If you want to share your story, it doesn't have to be a lot of people call in and say, I don't think this is a good story. And it turns out to be one of those that I think about for days, weeks. There was one guy that called me in the middle of the night, not on air, and he shared with me in Centerville, Tennessee. I think it's Centerville. He has a little farm. And he has Bigfoot and Dogman sightings. Seen them, seen prints on his cars and seen them outside. And he basically gave me the run-of-the-mill, Dogman story. Just changed the place and the date. And then all of a sudden he says, I cannot allow my grandkids outside. And let's see, let me show that one. But that's what perked my ears up. He would not allow his kids and his grandkids outside after dusk. And then I said, hey, wait a minute. Retell me this. Why do you not allow middle of Tennessee, Centerville, Tennessee? Now, I've been there many times, got stuck on that highway in a snowstorm where, I was in a 98 Camaro Z28 and people were flying off the roads and they just didn't know how to drive. And I made it home, drove from there to Kingsport, Tennessee. It took me about 3 hours, but took me a while. That being said, folks. Anyway, hey, Dark Waters, what's going on? Let me get a wrench on Mr. Dark Waters there. I honestly did not know that he was going to be on here tonight. Thank you for sharing it out earlier, DW. Appreciate it. But anyway, the Centerville Dogman report that I got, sounded like every other Dogman report I have heard up until the point where this gentleman said, I would not allow my kids and grandkids outside after dark. And he said he woke up with scratches and dents in the side of his trucks and cars. And he said he would not get out himself. He was afraid. He got anxious to go outside after dark or dusk. And that being said, hey, folks, if you don't mind, like I said, unscreened open lines, give me a call. Just say, hey, I'm from so-and-so. And let everybody know, did you get a screened call or did you get me the first answer? That being said, that's it. Let's see. Stimulates here, Scott. Psalm 39, what's up? Psalm 39 says, at first I thought Dogman reports are more frequently reported because of the technology, but now thinking these just more... Now I'm thinking there's just more of them. Think which is scary thought. Is a scary thought. So, anyway, yeah, don't get me banned over there just because you dropped something in the comments there. As I grow closer to the 1,000 subscriber mark, this channel will get heavily reviewed. So we got to play, got to play by the big old YouTube rules, which I think can be interestingly difficult at times. So just, take it easy on the language and what you talk about. If you talk about the beer bug, use a interesting name instead of the actual name of it, the SARS name or whatever you want to call it. Cocke 45. I like Cocke 45. That sounds about right. But anyway, that being said, let me show you something else. Now, this is an interesting story. Let me pop this up here. I saw this earlier. Actually, I heard it earlier on Fox News Radio. So I looked it up. I said, you got to be kidding me. And here it is. Hold on just a second. Let me pull this and transition this over so you can see this. Now, you know about the Cocke 45 stuff. You got to social distance and all this other stuff and mask up, which, definitely go to CDC and figure out what they think and talk to your doctor and local officials or whatever. Make up your own minds, do your own research. But how in the world does wild U.S. deer found with the Cocke 45 antibodies? About 40% of them, of the deer, are tested this year. So how does that? How does that happen? Deer are skittish. By no means can, I've seen a couple of deer that have been, able to get socialized and be able to be hand-fed by certain people. But how the hell does 40% wind up getting a Cocke 45? I kid you not, this is from National Geographic. White-tailed deer, a species found in every United States except Alaska, appear to be contracting the Cocke 45 in the wild, according to the first study to search for evidence of an outbreak in wild deer. So, have you ever been able to get up to a wild deer that you did not hunt down yourself and go deer hunting? No, I'm about certain they didn't mask up. I'm about certain they didn't get the Cocke 45 served to them. The, whatever you want to call it, the dose. So tell me this, how? I don't know. They're estimating 40%. You tell me that. Now, this is part of what I call chasing the truth. It's just not going out and saying, hey, I want to hear about your cryptid story. I want to hear about your UFO story, which I love all of that stuff. It fascinates me how some people are plagued with those sightings. That has to be, it may be, I don't know, but it's coming from National Geographic. If you don't believe me, Google it. Wild U.S. deer found with the Colt 45 antibodies. And then come back to me after you kind of wrapped your mind around that. How did they get it? And it, wound up in us first. Don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I got looks like Wes Vic's calling in. Wes Vic, what's going on, brother?
And I was listening to what you said, and you're very right. I would like everybody who's in them comments and the live chat and all that, you guys need to pay attention real hardcore to what's going on in, like, up north in New York City and places like that right now. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, you're going to have to prove that you got the Colt 45 six-pack.
You got to make sure you had the Tecate or the little proof that you've had the Tecate shot.
Yeah.
And after that, you're fine. But if you're not, like many of us, luckily in Texas, they ain't done that yet. I'm just going to leave it at that, man. That's scary stuff right there.
Well, hopefully your governor will stave off that. Is it Abbott? Governor Abbott? Is that his name?
I'll be honest. You guys already know I'm kind of a cynical, you-know-what, so I don't know. I mean, it's right now, yeah, he's sticking to his guns, but I'll be honest, like you and me were having a conversation earlier. Who knows what could happen during the near future?
That's true, brother. That's true. I know not everybody, not a lot of people, that would frequent my channel. Well, it could be, are Christians, but it doesn't bother me if they're not Christians. But I look at the Revelations, first chapter, and it's just like, all right, what's going on here?
Also, here in Texas, I'll tell you right now, I was, I had to you already know I had to pick up, I basically had to get a refill for something, right? Yeah. So anyway, check this out. They claim, I guess the tech or whatever, when I was talking on the pharmacy, it was like, man, they're lining up. And the thing is, it's true. People are really clamoring for this thing. It's like they want they're so desperate for some, and I get it, I do. They're so desperate for some kind of return to normalcy. But in the end, man, it's not good what's going on. Because I'll be honest with you, having your DNA changed ain't normal. Or RNA, wherever the hell it is.
Yep, that's true. I think, this Colt 45 dose, whatever you want to call it, is still under emergency rulings. This has not been tested out. It's been tested all right on every single person on the face of the planet, but
I don't think is it even FDA approved yet?
No, it's just an emergency. It's just emergency. It's under emergency powers. It's not been fully vetted out or anything of that nature. If you don't believe me, go to CDC and look it up yourself.
I believe every bit of that, man. Yeah, trust me. I'm actually going to. I've done a little bit of research on that, and I have looked, and you're right.
But, I may not need to talk about this too much since this.
No, I'm about to get off the line. Don't worry, I'm not going to top the line.
No, I'm thinking out loud, just saying I should. Maybe I shouldn't be, since I'm just trying to grow to 1,000 subscribers.
Might be wise to kind of veer from it, yes, sir.
Veer from it a little bit, not touch upon it, but what I'm sharing is mainstream media.
Chasing the truth and revealing the truth. It kind of is what it is. Let's leave it at that.
It is. Yeah, it is what it is, but that's it, buddy. But Wes, I appreciate you, as always, handing me. Oh, I forgot. Stan Deo, which I told you about on the phone. Stan Deo, folks, is going to be a guest on my show on the 28th of August. It's a Saturday, so it'll be over on Dark Waters channel. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be interesting. We'll take live calls the whole 9 yards. Look him up, standeo.com. He's been on Hagman and Hagman for years. Big into the paranormal scene, similar to what I talk about all the time, or try to. Share
I was going to say one more thing before I head out. You guys, if you get a chance, check out the Thaddeus Cray channel. because I am going to start turning out a lot of content. I'm going to start pushing real hard. I've kind of got the mindset to do it. I've been waiting, biding my time, and I was letting you guys know I'm going to start turning out a lot more stuff, mainly theories and different things, and what I do on cryptids and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just letting you guys know. Also, I'm going to be covering a little bit of mental health stuff, because I think that's very important, especially with what everyone's going through right now.
Absolutely. That's yeah, you just gotta, take a grain of sand or a grain of salt with everything that you hear,
Sure.
and believe absolutely almost nothing you see, and half of what you hear, or vice versa.
My uncle told me all the time, 50% of what you see, 30% of what you hear, maybe less. All right, man, I am going to go ahead and get off here and let someone else call. You be blessed and be safe, man.
All right, appreciate you. All right, there, Thaddeus Cray, a.k.a. Wes Vick. He's the show producer for not only my show, Chasing the Truth, Dark Waters family of shows. You got Ball of Nightmares. You got dogmancams.com. I just AKA just let the cat out of the bag a little bit. Dogmancams.com got a few new possible. Now I'm not going to say they are for certain possible guests lined up. That's just letting the cow out of the bag. Not saying that they're for real or whatever. Take that as hearsay on my part. But there you go. Interesting to say. Let's see. We've got Admi Authority. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Uh-oh. Here we go. Connor Flynn is on the line. Connor Flynn. Bigfoot Anonymous. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, man? I always love calling in right after Wes, just to keep the legacy going, you know.
The consistency.
But, I just wanted to tell you guys about my story that happened 2 days ago. It wasn't much of a too crazy encounter. It was just a bucket list experience, because I finally got to adventure with Donnie Miller, and he is very well known in the Bigfoot world. He's been on Sasquatch Chronicles and Bigfoot Odyssey, and he has had over 10 face-to-face encounters, and he had an abduction story when he was younger. He saw a UFO come over his car on a Alabama highway, and doctor actually said he has a little piece of metal in his arm, and they wanted to operate on it when he was a young kid. So I believe it's some kind of beacon, and that's probably why all these creatures keep finding their way to him. But we hiked along the Japola River here in the Panhandle of Florida, and we found this one cave. Well, I showed him the cave. We didn't discover it just today or that day, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But it was incredible. It's called Alamo Cave, and there's been points and pottery found down there. And then Dale Cox from 2 Egg TV, he did an article and a couple videos talking about how there was a battle there, and most of the points and arrowheads recovered were in defense to the outer predators of that. So I think there were some Sasquatch probably battles in those forests, but of course tons of just Native American battles as well. We had horrible heat exhaustion because there was a heat index of 119 degrees, but it was still just like one of the best days of my life. And we went to these other murals, Freddy Krueger mural and the Jason mural on these nuke silos, and oh man, it was just so revolutionary, and everything happens for a reason, and it was just so much more of a push for me, and just the ball has been rolling ever since.
Oh man, you're how often do you actually get out and work? I know you work in a comic book shop, but how often you can't be working in the comic book shop and doing all these adventures all at once?
Yeah, about 4 to 5 days a week, and then I always try to stop at like abandoned houses or geocache spots, even on the way home from work. I try not to let any days be wasted. Even if I'm at the job, I try to interview people and try to get something kind of progress towards, my goal and my dreams and my movement and the truth, again, chasing the truth. I'm trying to shove it in people's faces at this point, because we have had the bubble over our heads, and we're being so brainwashed by the media and all the people we used to look for answers and entertainment. They have turned their back on us for a check, And it is sad times in this world. And that's why it's nice to even come together on these late nights and just try to find some clarity, because there is dark experiments going on and just dark magic altogether. They're spelling words and writing in cursive, and it's right over all of our heads, and we really have to wake up, or, again, there won't be any podcast in 2 years, in 8 months. The farmers are being paid not to farm. There's something going to happen, guys. We have to start being self-sufficient because the times are just winding down.
You said we're writing in the skies in cursive. That being said, I remember back when I was actually doing a job and being I guess you'd call it director over a few sleep labs. My secretary said that, hey, look at this. My daughter gave me this for a gift, and it was it wasn't cursive writing. It was just, block writing. And I was like, why can't she write in cursive? Well, they don't teach cursive in schools now. I was like, why in the hell don't they do that? Now I can remember doing that when I was in first grade. Why do they stop teaching people to write in cursive? I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's sad. It's all going digital now, and that's the way to manipulate. When you wrote things down back in the day, it was ink. It was on paper. It was there to stay. Now it's just all edited. They're rewriting our history books. They're rewriting the news right in front of our eyes. They tell us numbers, and then they manipulate them. If we read the back of the box, we're anti-science. We're being led into the gallows, and we have to bond together. We have to put our arms together because the one group of people going to watch the other group of people just suffer at the hands of the establishment? Are they going to let us starve? No, we need to come together and barter and show them that numbers are the only thing that is power. That's why they're trying to divide and conquer us. So we have to stay united no matter what. Color is nothing. Female, male, we all have to come together. And all that is very important. Gender is important, and your science is important, guys. I respect people's pronouns, but it literally has nothing to do with your chemistry, your makeup. So we can keep making up these, placebos and fun games, but guys, we're human beings in our core. We are souls. We are energy. And if they want to keep, brainwashing the people and wiping the youth, we have to stand up because I am so sick of the Baphomet and Baal and the Goatman gods and demons. They're working into our world, guys. Oh, man, the Creator is being just forbidden, and we have to stick together because we were created in His image. And look at our fingerprints, guys. It lines up with seashells, pine cones, the galaxies, which probably are, fake itself. But there's something special in the firmament, in the heavens. And we have to unite, guys. I know it sounds like a broken record, but guess what? Their broken record is even more powerful because they're just spinning it out and swallowing up our family members every day. So we have to be loud. We have to be proud, and you have to stick together. And you can't let them bend you over because it will just be game over since then. You can never go back. You can never go back. But right now, we're fine, guys. We're fine. But you can never go back once you cross that line. Just remember that, guys.
True enough. Hey, since you're in the comic book business, what have they been doing to Marvel and DC and all the American issues of comic books? What's going on? I heard that a lot of comic book shops are going downhill, more or less.
Yeah, the market is oversaturated, so the value is dropping. Even the trading card market has kind of crashed. Of course, Pokemon is still flourishing, but yeah, cardboard and paperback books are hurting right now. And I think it has a lot to do with the digital age, of course, and everybody's into cryptocurrencies and NFTs now. And real life things are a thing of the past. We're moving towards a virtual reality. But of course, I think a lot of it has to do with the pandemic and just everything is going in order for them because they want us dependent on the state, on them, so they can dictate our lives. So they're closing down all small businesses. It's not just comic book stores. It's all the restaurants and diners and all the good places we used to visit as kids. And it's really sad. It's a corporate world right now. Mm-hmm. And the mom and pop shops have to stick together. And, of course, they're trying to break us down. They're trying to tell people what kind of people they can let into the store, what kind of they can't. It's like Nazi Germany. It's like the racist America that they've been painting in these books. You know, I know America's had problems, but they have created this image of who we are. And all the slave talk. Guys, you know, there's been slaves. I know it's cliche, but there have been slaves forever. You know, the Irish, the English, the Australian people, the Asian people. There are tons of slaves. So all of us have baggage, so we can't hold on to that and fall into those traps. And it's sad, you know. I was a huge LeBron James fan. I watched him play against my high school, in high school. And now, you know, I watched him bring a championship to Cleveland, which that might have been a curse. He broke the curse, you know, and then he passed Kobe Bryant on the scoring list. And the very next day, Kobe died. Why does he have a crazy tattoo on his chest that resembles a Freemason eagle? I don't know, but he's been trying to divide everybody, and, you know, he even says he doesn't like white people. It's sad. So imagine if the tables were turned. We can't have that. We are all people. We all bleed blood that is red, that is filled with crystals, that is blue through our bodies until it hits the oxygen. And if you're not a blue blood, then you're on the same team as me, and we have to reunite again. And I hope everybody just takes a little bit of positivity from this and just love thy neighbor, love thy friends. Stick up for your family members. Even if they have different beliefs than you, the establishment will take both of you guys and hold you underwater if you don't work together. So our time is limited, guys. Stick together, stay positive, and support one another, because the suicide rates are going through the roof. No one has help. No one has answers, guys, and it's very dark times. It's very confusing for many people. So if you're strong and strong-minded, be there for people, because you don't know what's coming next. And it's really scary. Stay away from Walmarts and, you know, lock up on your supplies 100%, guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Connor. Bigfoot Anonymous across TikTok, YouTube, let's see, Facebook, Instagram, and a couple other places. So definitely go look him up. He's always constantly updating his social media profiles and getting out the truth, that's for sure.
Yes, man. I definitely appreciate it, and I have many voyages upcoming. I'm going to the Squatching Cowboys camp out in Tennessee in September. Going to hit the Everglades at the end of September with my dad. So we're going to hit the Skunk Ape headquarters and an Expedition Bigfoot Museum up in Georgia. So I got a lot planned. My birthday's on the 28th, and my 4th book is coming out in 2 weeks, Panhandle Pirates. It's going to be all about my adventures in the Florida Panhandles with my crew, with my gang. So I'm super excited, and I appreciate the time, man, and I'm looking forward to Saturday's show and then next Thursday and whenever I see it pop up, man. Thank you for the support on my videos. I appreciate it, and I hope I keep everybody entertained and informed, because that's what it's about. If you can just get away from the static and the BS for a little bit and maybe find some positivity and some information in it, then 2 birds, 1 stone, you know? Oh, man, if only we could just multiply that by millions and billions for everybody, because this world is hurting, and we need to share our electricity and save this ship.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. You know, the one thing that I can glean from what you were saying, we as a people, not dividing us in any way, shape, form, or fashion, we as a people support each other. You know, they're trying to divide us. Well, that's it. For whatever dubious reason, they're trying to divide us. Like I was talking a couple of shows ago. My neighbor brought to me the best tasting peaches. Never asked. I actually said, hey, can I pay you? Nope. Delicious peaches. And he, you know, does things for me all the time. And I try to do what little bit I can, since I'm in a wheelchair. But holy cow, you don't. Neighbors are neighbors. You know, if you don't know your neighbor, find out what their names are. Just say, hey, wave at them. Do stuff like that. Get to know them. They live right next to you. Why not?
100%. After Hurricane Michael, I became really close with my neighbors, and one is my best friend now, David Wilson, and he's done a lot of adventures with me, and he's actually mailed in some of my encounters for a couple of my books because he works at this one facility deep in the woods, and when he's out smoking cigarettes during the night, he can just hear creaks and cracks pretty much all the time, and hell yeah. But once you break your bubble of comfort, guys, you meet extraordinary people. I lived out of my car to Ohio to Florida, Florida to California, and I met some of the most magnificent people when I needed them most. When you follow your path, all your needs are met in abundance. Just remember that. And you're given the path that you can handle, and it's going to make you tough. And whoever your creator is, just accept it and embrace it. And everybody's creator is the same, but the adaptations are different. So just pull what you can and stay positive. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, thank you again, Connor Flynn, Bigfoot Anonymous, Bigfoot Anon, across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Do you do any of those dance videos on TikTok, or you just kind of push those aside?
I haven't done any yet. I was thinking about that. I was like, I need to have my boss's daughter help me with some of these edits. It's pretty much, they're the same vibe with YouTube and stuff. I actually just uploaded a video on TikTok a couple hours ago. It's already passed like 2,200 views. So I'm like, all right, maybe this will be the one.
Wow.
It's about Bigfoot tribes being ran off during the original construction of the Mary Anna Walmart. And it's got like 4,000 views on YouTube, and 97% are positive, and a lot of the people are like, nothing happened in this. I'm like, dude, I went to the location of a sighting and told you guys about it. You know, it's never enough for some people. They want Patty right on film, you know, in my high definition camera. I'm just trying to entertain people and inform people. And if I can go to a location that a sighting happened and just even explore it, that's more than enough for me. So if it's not enough for anybody else, that's totally fine. But I see the people that see it. Real recognize real. And, of course, the trolls can stay under the bridge.
Absolutely. Hey, I got a question. There's one YouTuber that I have been following that I actually have learned quite a bit about Bigfoot, either in print, on film, or what have you. Even learned how you can distinguish whether it's a human in a costume or not. But the YouTuber is called Thinker Thunker. I've never talked to the fellow before, but have you ever seen that YouTuber?
Yeah, I like Thinker Thunker's breakdowns. I don't agree with every single one, but I love the breakdowns and knowledge. He did a breakdown on the Independence Day Sasquatch, and that footage is like close to my heart for some reason. I feel like people with their globe, you know, I'm like, no, don't, it's real. But the guy gave a breakdown and said it was a mask, and you know, I'm still on the fence. I love hearing everybody's information as long as they're standing on their own 2 feet, thinking what they're thinking. I'm totally cool with it. If they're just regurgitating what the establishment said, I already thought about that, you know, and I spit it out and stepped on it. But yeah, I definitely love Thinker Thunker. I highly recommend people check out Buckeye Bigfoot, Canada's Cryptid, and Dixie Cryptid. It's fun storytelling that you can just lay to and listen to at night. And of course, Dark Waters. I'm looking forward to the videos. He was talking about some kind of crazy Dogman story that one of my neighbors was also talking about. So I can't wait to send him the link and just tap in. I love when you really spread your wings, you find connections literally in every direction. And that's what I'm about. I love movies. I love lore. I love history, sports. You know, I just try to find the connections in it all. I'm just trying to be a Renaissance man because I'm not really great at anything, so I got to be good at a lot of stuff, or at least interested in a lot of stuff.
True enough. I appreciate you calling in, Connor. As always, you're just a fascinating fellow, and your energy about this positive energy about the cryptids, about the paranormal, about the unknown, is addictive and spreading.
Hey, I appreciate it, man, and I hope it's as contagious as this new crazy variant, you know.
Yeah,
I don't even want to say some of these words online because they have these dang machines that, you know, just track it up, and we've already spoken enough off air that we know what's going on on this boat. So let's try to let's try to wiggle this turtle's back a little bit more towards the safe waters. But yeah, guys, I appreciate it, Shawn. Every time, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm looking forward to the next time. It's such a relief, getting through the week and just sharing these stories. And it does a lot for me. So I hope and I hope everybody else can enjoy it as much as I can. I'm running around my house sweating, smiling, walking barefoot with my arms flailing. So I just hope everybody can have that excitement, surprise somebody. Make someone call you, think you're doing overloading on coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't do none of that. I'm energy. We are all energy, guys. Energy's never created nor destroyed. Coincidence is the only thing to never exist. Ever. But I'll leave it at that, guys. Shawn's already tried to say bye about 4 or 5 times.
Sorry, brother. You keep on talking.
Going. But Shawn, I will talk to you soon, brother.
All right, brother.
Take it easy,
talk
man.
to you. See you.
Later, man.
Bye. Now, have you ever heard anybody that has that much energy about this? I wish I had that much energy to, kind of portray on this microphone as he does. Bigfoot Anonymous, Bigfoot Anon, cross Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I don't know if I want to watch a TikTok video that he has been dancing in, but you never know. But you never know, folks. What's out there, and that's what we do. We chase the truth from shoreline to shoreline across every ocean, even down in Australia. So, that being said, I have seen, this is the most it's been watching. I've seen it hit 67. Wow, thank you for listening. That helps out the show quite a bit. Fantastic. Please share this out. It does not cost you a penny to share this out to your friends, your family, your dog, your cat, your sister, your cousin. Oh, here we go. We got a caller calling in. Let's see who this is. Hey, this is Chasing the Truth. This is Shawn. Who do I have on board and where are you from?
What's going on, Shawn? It's Chase.
Chase, what's going on, brother? I saw that you had a new story that you picked up on the road. Where you at today?
I'm just now leaving Jacksonville, headed to Tiffany, Georgia.
Georgia. All right. What kind of story you got for me? You need to get a little close. Are you got me on the speakerphone or what you got?
Can you hear me better now, or do I need to?
You're still a little bit low, but I can hear you. Let me monkey with the audio over here. Go ahead. What kind of story you got for me?
All right. Just want to say is that better for everybody too?
It should be. Should be.
All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. Before I get started on this story, I want to say what's this gentleman's name? It was just on. Man, that guy got some energy.
Oh yeah.
It really is addictive, man. And I tell you what, he's a sharp dude, man. Like I'll be cracking up. He'd be hitting on some good points, and definitely if you can read between lines, he'd be saying some good fire stuff, man, for sure.
All right. So what crazy story did you pick up on the road this time? It can't be.
This actually happened.
Wait, is this any better than the what was it? The 4 foot tall what was it? Frog?
It's interesting. I think it's going to be up there. It's kind of up there with that, and it's fairly close to there, not too far away from where that happened.
Okay.
So I was. There's this little it's called the Green Swamp down in Florida. A lot of people know it. It's up there around Lakeland, above Tampa, and there's a road that splits the middle, directly in the middle of this green swamp area. There's a couple little state forest areas right there, and I always go out of my way to drive through there, especially late at night, because I want to see something driving by. You know what I mean? But I was at the south end of that road. It's a pretty long little stretch. I want to say it's a good 18 miles or 15 miles. It's a long little stretch, and it's just nothing but just beautiful wilderness. So I parked my truck at the beginning of that road. I pull over. There's a couple of truckers. A lot of truckers like to pull over right there, right before you get to the T right there. So I pull off, and I'm just gonna kind of sit in there, get something to drink, and take me a little break from driving before I, like, knock out a nice stretch. So I'm sitting in my truck, and I look in my rearview mirror, and I see this guy walking up the side of my truck. So normally I'm defensive, especially since I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I grab my gun, I'm looking, see what this guy's doing, and he walks past me. He ain't got no shirt on. He's an older guy, like much older. Definitely in his like late 60s, maybe 70. And he had a staff, like kind of like a staff, and he had something inside. I could tell it was a white T-shirt. It was his T-shirt, and he had it on his back. And he was walking kind of like a hobo would walk, you know, like the old pictures of a hobo. He had some shorts on, and he's walking past the truck, and he's walking down this road, right, going straight down this road. It's pitch black. There's nothing out there. And I'm like, I know this guy. Like, I would be scared. Like, I'm not a very fearful person, but like, I would literally just to walk down this road would make me very nervous at 1, 2 in the morning. So I'm sitting there looking at this guy like walking. I'm like, I know he is not about to walk down this road. And sure enough, he just keeps going. I said, hell no, I got to ask this guy. Like, he has to have some stories. Like, there's no way he's walking. I thought he was homeless. So I thought there's no way he's walking this road and don't got no stories. So I pull out in front of him, and I stop my truck. I jump out, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, buddy? So he looks at me. He's like, not too much. And, you know, I strike up a conversation. I'm like, hey, man, listen, like, you walk this road normally? He's like, well, I have a house at the end of this road down to the left. He's like, I want to own some property. So long story short, he lives off the grid. He's an old vet, and he literally lives completely off the grid. Apparently, he ain't homeless at all. He's got, like, some really nice cars, like old classic cars. He's just he just likes staying by himself for, you know, I guess he did a lot of messed up stuff in the war from what he explained to me. And he wants to stay away from people pretty much. That's what I got from it. And so I'm like, look, man, I got to ask you some questions. Like, have you ever seen anything crazy or weird that you can't explain or anything like that? So he tells me, he's like, yeah, he just like, no big deal. Yeah, I got seen a couple stuff. He's like, he tells me like, I guess a few years back, just up the road. And it was weird when he told me, I knew, like right when he told me, I knew he was telling the truth because I've heard 2 other stories similar to it. And his story was very similar to these. So I was like, okay, dude, he's got to be on point. And what he said, he's like, he was walking down the road, and the moon was out pretty good. And he could see, because I guess he walks this quite often. And he could see pretty well with the moon lit that night. And he said, upon one of the big tree branches, there was he said it was somewhere around at least 5 foot tall, but it looked just like an owl. He said, but it was a man, like an owl-type man, creature. And it just stared at him. And he's walking by, like he sees it. And he's walking by, and he's just looking at it. And he acts like he's looking at it and caring and staring it down, but he just keeps walking, like he ignores it, you know. And I'm like, all right, now I've heard another story just like that. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he's got a solid story. So he goes on to tell me some more stories. He said another time, him and another friend was walking down this same road together, and they heard a voice. They heard a woman's voice. And it said help. It said they were walking, and they both heard it, but they acted like they didn't hear it. And they kept walking. They heard it multiple times. And I guess when they got to the end of the road, the guy looked at him. He was like, his buddy was like, did you hear that? And he was like, yeah, I heard it. And he was like, why didn't you answer back? He's like, listen, I'm just ignoring that stuff. Like, I don't pay no attention to that stuff. And so both of them ignored it. So it was a voice that they heard, and I'm pretty sure we've all heard multiple stories like that. So I get to go in. Oh, and another thing, when he had that shirt with that staff, he had golf balls. He had golf balls inside that shirt, and I was like, "Why you got golf balls?" He's like, "In case I see something, I throw it at it." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, you throw stuff at these like creatures and stuff? He was like, well, I mean, if they're in my way or they, stand in front of them, I'm like, you don't get scared walking down this road? Like, basically what he told me is he's like, I'm ready to die. He's like, I could care less. Like, whatever. I just ignore them or, I go by my way. They don't bother me and I don't bother them. It's pretty much what he said. And he don't really, I guess he just don't have no fear towards that stuff. And he enjoys the night. so he enjoys walking around at night. And so he tells me about his property, and so I start asking him about Dogman, like, and he no big deal, no, just nonchalantly was like, yeah, I see him. I see him a certain time of year. They're around my property. So basically, he said that they run down there near the creek. He said basically, I'm like, so I asked him, trying to ask him, get descriptions. He's like, to be honest with you, I just see them really. They're more of a flash. They run by real fast and real dark, like shadow, and they just shoot by a lot. And sometimes they'll stop and stare at me, but I don't really mess with them, and they don't mess with me. And I'm like, man, that is crazy. I'm like, so we get to talking for a while. I get his phone number. He invites me out. He's like, yeah, you come out. Have a, I guess he likes doing a fire with cooking out on the fire and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's telling me, I can come out or whatever. And he told me what time of the year if I want to come out and see him, whatever. He told me though, I just can't, he's like, if you want to see him, you can see him, but you can't mess with him or shoot at him or do anything like. So he already knew. I guess he's probably known him for a while in that area, or they passed through. I don't really know, but this dude was like it was just no big deal. Like when he was talking about these creatures and what he's seen out there. And I asked him about Bigfoot, if he had seen any of them, and he just said, I've heard things follow me in the woods, stepping with me and whatnot, and just following me, but I've never seen one directly, what he said. But I've definitely seen them and smelled stuff, is what he said, but I've never seen one. So I'm like, all right, that's pretty interesting. But I could tell he's got a lot more stories.
Now this guy lives in Georgia or Florida?
No, this is Florida in the Green Swamp it's just above Lakeland.
Okay.
Like if you're running down 75, say you're running down 75 and you got your GPS set for Lakeland, it'll give you an option to go through this area. But I can't remember the exact road. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of listeners out there that probably know this area. And I bet Connor, he probably knows what I'm talking about. But it's called the Green Swamp area. And there's some ponds out there inside this swamp. It's a really eerie place. Like when you actually go out there, it's pretty eerie. I think one time, I stopped out there one time at 3 o'clock. I was right in the middle of it. I laid on my air horn, waited a while, got out of my truck with my gun, went through the woods, heard like a branch, instantly, no, fuck no, turned around, took off running. I was like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm not playing with fate.
Oh.
But,
yeah.
It is an eerie place, man.
No doubt. Have you ever, traipsed outside your truck in that area?
Have I stopped my truck overnight out there?
Yeah, over there, just took a walk around.
Yeah. So I have during the day, and the one time I did it at night, I got creeped out. I heard a branch crack and got creeped out and turned right around and walked really fast, speed walked the hell out of that woods. I didn't go. I probably went 150 yards into it, and it was just, I just started feeling uncomfortable and eerie feeling, and I'm like, nah, I'm good, I'm out. So I haven't really explored it at night. During the day, it's beautiful. I love going out there during the day. I've been trying to go camping out there, but every time I talk about going camping, I try to get my wife to come with me because I talk about it. She knows I listen. My wife knows I listen to Dogman stories. So every time I get her to go camping, and I tell her where I want to go camping, she's like, "No, I'm not going out there effing with no dog, man." Because my wife, she's a sister. She does not play that stuff, man. She's not having it.
No,
because I'm country as all get up. So
yeah. Hey,
funny, man.
Let me give a shout out. Hey, Miss T, would you like to go camping with me in an area where Dogman and Bigfoot are? Just wondering. So we'll see here in just a second. So, do you smell these things when you're driving down these areas where you think there might be Dogman or Bigfoot in the area? Can you?
No, I haven't ever smelled anything or had any clues or evidences. The only evidence I find is when I go out in the woods. Because I love the woods and I go out a lot. But I got some really nice pictures over there in Atlanta, Georgia, of trees, just rows of trees where you can tell it was not a tornado or weather or wind, but it was 4 or 5 trees, ones that you could barely get your arm around, just pushed over in a row based in one direction. And if you follow that direction, it goes to this big area where there's a huge X. So It's right above Atlanta, Georgia. It's just above. Like, it's more where the wooded areas, a lot of rich, like, $1 million homes out there. They got a golf course out there. Mm-hmm. But there's a huge a huge wooded area that I can tell, like, there's a trail back there where people drive their little golf carts and stuff through to go to the stores and stuff. But there's so many signs out there. So many Bigfoot signs. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how many back there. Like, the owner of the company that I drive for, he's a football player, so he plays the NFL football and stuff, and he lives there in Atlanta. So so I take him out, I take him out of my house. I done taught him how to shoot a bow and took him fishing, bass fishing for the first time, and so I take him out there. He brings his gun. We go out there and I show him all these signs, and even him, not knowing much of anything, just certain stories I've told him. He's looking at it, he's like, I don't even know how is that possible? Like, how could two trees get pushed over in that angle? But he couldn't figure it out.
He couldn't figure it out. I've been in forest areas, when I was a young kid probably, and wonder, how'd that happen? The middle of the forest where it's untouched, and you think, well, there's no clear-cut crews harvesting timber around here. Well, how'd that tree wind up in that bigger tree? Root ball and all. You're kind of okay. It's strange if you get out there. Yeah, I honestly just don't see a lot of people getting out in the middle of the woods and then finding this stuff and saying, well, I don't believe Bigfoot's out here. I don't believe Dogman's out here, or the skinwalkers or anything like that. I'm just like, why can't you if you see it? I've had doctors see paranormal stuff happen in the freaking hospital, and they say, well, Shawn, why'd you do that? Why'd you make that happen? It's like, man, I was 20 feet away from where you were, and you're closer to the event than I was. How the hell did I do that? Turn the TV on around the corner. It just amazes me. It just amazes me.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. It is amazing, like, how... I think we hear it, I listen to this one guy, How to Hunt. He does, his name is Steve, but he's got a lot of straight banging stories, and he's pretty much a no-nonsense kind of guy, and he's pretty cool. So I love his channel, but one thing I've noticed is, a lot of people, I think I heard a story recently, and just to give an example, a father and a son was riding down the road together, and they both see, a little Bigfoot dragon. You could tell it was a little Bigfoot. It was dragging. There was two of them. They were dragging like a dead deer. And the mom or the big female, she looks over and they see this, in a blink of an eye as they're coming by, but they both clearly see it. And the guy was like, man, I got the feeling like we caught her with her pants down, like she wasn't expecting this coming. She was kind of agitated that we seen her. And they're driving. They both don't say anything. Once they pass by, they don't say nothing. And his dad, 15 minutes later, goes like, "That was a boar." And his son's like, "What, Dad? That ain't no boar. What are you talking about? What we just saw it." But apparently, his dad is a Baptist Bible believing, one of the a purist kind of it's just that would all mess his mind up if he had heard that kind of stuff. So. His brain, he has to shut his brain down to it. It's weird. It's like people can't accept certain stuff, and without even, I don't even know if they even actually think, process it real well, or do they just skip right past it and just make up something in their mind of what it could be and say that and just forget about it? Because it's like how could you not see something out of the norm? You see it. And how do you not sit there and constantly process it and think to yourself, okay, I know what I saw. I'm not crazy, so I saw that. But yet, there's other people that do that, and they just block it out like it don't exist, it's not possible, and make up something or never talk about it again. It's really weird.
Yeah, my late brother was. He lived in a haunted house, and I could talk to my sister about. Yeah, I saw all kinds of crap in my brother's house, and talked to him, and nope, there's nothing like a ghost or anything like that. So, but I'm like, well, you're a Christian, you believe in the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit, and you believe in angels and demons. how can you not believe in something paranormal like that?
The entire Bible.
Yeah.
The entire Bible's paranormal.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, supernatural, paranormal. If you read the pages, you're confronted with all this stuff. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, it's crazy. Here's a good example. Like me and my wife, we're sitting there talking today. We've seen this guy. You'll see people out and they'll be talking to themselves. They'll be having a full-blown fight with an invisible person out there doing something crazy, And a lot of people just, they got mental illness, they're crazy, whatever. And I'm looking at them, they're like, they're demon-possessed. They have many demons in them, multiple personalities. Multiple personality disorder is nothing but demon possession. So they're filled with different demons, and you can get that many ways. You can get traumatized as a child, take on another personality. That's another demon. Another personality is a demon. So people don't associate these things because it's like she was talking to her friends and was like they seen somebody like that. They were all together. She was like, that man's full of demons. They're like, no, Kim, he's just got some mental illness. And she's like, oh, okay, all right then. It's like, cause she knows she can't talk to them if they don't see this, Right. And it's interesting. And a lot of people don't know the origins of demons, They don't understand that these spirits. And when people say demons, you gotta understand when the fallen angels fell and they dealt with women and created these different hybrids and what people call Nephilim and giants. Well, their soul wasn't built to go to a heaven or a hell. So they literally were on the earth, stuck on the earth. And a good example of that is when the flood resided and Noah landed the ark and he went back to planting all the herbs and stuff that, the plants, the trees, the herbs, and the vegetables. He was taking them. God was telling him to take them here and there. And when he was replanting them, well, his sons are getting attacked. So he cries out to God, and he talks to God, and he asks him, he says, Lord, you have to help me. My sons are being attacked. They were getting illnesses. They were having all kinds of different elements going on with them. And when he's done that, now this is the time before Christ came along. So Satan, he had access to that realm. So Satan comes in and is like, no, you can't take them. They work for me. They're doing my bit. If I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, they're with me. Well, God, Noah pleased to God, and God bounds 90% of them, right? So that leaves 10% on the earth at that time. And then when you go back, when you come to where our time period is, and you look at like the 70s and the 80s, and when crack hit, and everything started changing in the late 80s, and then in the 90s, you start seeing more disrespect coming out of the children, and then you multiply that into 2000s, and now where people literally it's unbelievable when you sit here and think about what's going on in this world, but there was a time where the Most High said he was going to let the 4 angels loose. He was going to let the winds loose. So the angels were holding these winds back, and now that's been released on this earth. So that 90% that was bound has been released. So that's why you're seeing a multitude of people acting out and acting different ways and behaving in all these different, sodomy and all this craziness that people are doing. You can see it, and it's multiplied now,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to be had, and we use science, medicine, as a replacement for religion. So that being said, you're just like, what? What did you just say? Well, I don't believe it because science doesn't say so. Okay, well, you believe in science, yeah? Well, that's your religion. That's about it. That's the way I see it. Can science describe everything under God's sun? Nope. They try. They absolutely try, and they change their mind all the time. They disagree with each other. Science is the most biased institution, if you can call it institution, that I can describe. It's biased. You can use the science formulas and stuff that they use, the numbers and whatever that happens, and use their logic, and it doesn't come out the same way. And it's all biased toward who gave the money to, produce this research. And I'm like, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of the things I did when I was in medical in the medical field. I used, these research papers to try to drum up some, cash flow for various departments and whatnot. And I learned pretty damn quick to figure out, jump to who paid for the science. And then I figured out, well, okay, it'd be heavily leaning toward this or, this outcome or not this outcome. Anybody says science is the ultimate, nope, it's not. I can honestly tell you that it is so biased, it's ridiculous. So.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, I tell you what. I mean, I think you had commented one time, or I had commented on something you had brought it up, and when you look at certain words and you translate them back from the Greek to the Latin, and then to the ancient Phoenician Hebrew and whatnot. What's interesting is, like, certain words, just for example, I'll give you two of them. Like the word religion. The word religion translated in the Greek, and it means the same thing in the Hebrew, but you can look it up in the Strong's Coordinate, but it means to restrain, hold back, and conquer. And it's pretty interesting that is the definition of it. You look at the word pharmacy. That word in the Greek is pharmakia, okay? Well, pharmakia is witchcraft, sorcery, and poison. And it means the same thing in the Hebrew. So it's just, to me, it's pretty interesting how certain words, that's why I like going to the origins of stuff. Like when I deal with certain words, or I'm reading certain things out of the Bible, or I'm in like the book of Enoch or the book of Jasher or Jubilees or something like that, and I see something I don't quite understand, I like to go to the Strong's Coordinates and I like to break it down until I get to the origins of that word, And
right.
that's how I cipher the Bible, and discern,
True enough. You gotta use what God gave you between your ears to discern what's true and what's not true. And unfortunately, we're not doing that. We gave that up to whatever entity a long time ago. But I'm trying to get people to think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Trying to get people to think about stuff. Don't give them don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Doubt it. Prove it to yourself. Don't say, "Hey, this person said so. This is the way it's supposed to be." Nope, it's not. Right. It is what it is. Yeah. It's God's truth, and to me, it's God's truth and nothing else. If man agrees with it, fantastic. If they disagree with it, hey, that's your responsibility to disagree or agree. But I was shown other things in my near-death experience, which I'm going to probably, I will share on Chasing the Truth Shawn G channel in, the near future, easily. But I haven't decided how to get it out there.
I can't wait.
Yeah, well,
I can't wait, Shawn. Dude, you're going to help a lot of people with that, I believe.
Well,
you get your channel built up a little bit more, and you let that rip. That's going to spread like wildfire.
Oh yeah. God agreed to let me come back, and I argued with God to let me come back. He said, "No, I need you to, go on." I said, "No, I've got to help these certain amount of people." Actually, it was 8, and I knew these 8 would go off and share whatever it is they needed to share while they were alive, and I needed to be there. And God agreed and allowed me to come back. So hopefully, I can at least take a stab at it, saying, "Hey, I did this." So that's one word. That's one.
You let it rip, tater, chip. That's all I got to say.
Well, I appreciate it, Chase. And as always, Chase, you always have the craziest stories. Owl man. Was it Owl man? How big was that owl?
It was an owl man. He described it as the size of a man, or a little bit tall. He said it was about the size he was. So I know he was short. He had to be at least like 5'3", 5'4". So he said it was the same height as him. It was sitting up in a tree. It had to be like a big oak, I guess, or something like that, or maybe not. But he said it was up in the tree, halfway up, just sitting there on the road. You can see it plain as day. I don't remember, I think I was kind of caught off guard because it was similar to another one. I didn't ask him if he saw any eyes or eye shine or anything like that. But I'm gonna catch back up with it. I got his number. I'm gonna call him one day and just hang out with him one day and see if I can get a bunch of stories out of him. Maybe even record them.
Well, hopefully so. Anytime you want to call in, Chase, just call in, brother, anytime, buddy.
Absolutely, man. You keep on, keep the good work up, and looking forward to the rest of the show, man.
Yeah.
Keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard.
The mayonnaise and the mustard. I was about ready to repeat that back to you, but there you go.
I know you. I was gonna beat you to it.
All right.
You done gave it away to another trucker. I heard you.
Well, hey, it's a good term. Might as well, man. Might as well.
Yeah, you know I told
Spread
to
it.
start with. So.
Spread that mayonnaise and mustard around is what I'm trying to tell you. So.
I've been hearing you. I've been hearing you ripping my Colt 45 thing too now.
Hell yeah, man! Might as well. You can't say the actual word that's replacing because the gods that be, the digital gods that be, don't like you to use that and actually speak what's actually happening. Unfortunately.
I mean, I accidentally slipped up. The last time I was on with you, I slipped up, man.
That's all right. That's all
I was
right.
like, dang.
That's all right. You know, as I say, to kind of maybe cushion the blow, you know, when that does slip out,
Yeah.
always check with CDC. You know, CDC won't lead you wrong. But there you go.
Ain't that right?
Yeah. So always check with CDC. But there you go.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one, and keep it between the mayonnaise and mustard, as you just said.
Absolutely.
All right. See ya. All right. Chase, the truck driver, I think he's in Jacksonville, Florida, on his way up to Georgia with another incredible story, this time about Owlman, man-sized owl. And he floored me with the 5-foot-tall walking frog a couple of shows ago. Now, that being said, wow, 69 people watching. That's the highest I've seen it in here. Thank you, folks, for at least tuning in for a few seconds. For those folks that are staying around, please like that button. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything to share it with your neighbor, your cat, your dog, your cousin, the cousin that you don't like, the neighbor that you don't like, or if you do like them, hey, just say, hey, I want to share Chasing the Truth with you. So please, please, please hit that like button. And if you really want to donate to me, hit that subscribe button to Chasing the Truth, Shawn G. You know, that will help out tremendously. And it is incredible. I cannot believe it. I got a couple of people that have donated during the show and subscribed. I'm going to run these out. Aisha H., thank you for the Cash App donation. And then Donna W., thank you for the Cash App donation to Chasing the Truth. I have put you up in the thanks CTT supporters. And let's see, hold on just a second. I have a new subscriber, Reese. Thank you, brother. I hope that you're male. Thank you, Reese Peace, for signing the dotted line to subscribe to Chasing the Truth. We are on a road, on a mission to chase the truth, and this is Unscreened, open lines. You want to chase the truth with me? You want to share that little piece of truth that you've been keeping under your pocket, under your seat for a while? You know, I had a little lady, I think her name was Jennifer from Illinois, talk about a dogman, juvenile dogman she saw back in 1994 with with her boyfriend at the time that snuck over to her house in the middle of the night to do the snogging thing. And she definitely sends some prayers out to her. She's battling cancer, as she said. So, Jennifer from Illinois, I'm thinking about you. Been saying prayers for you, and I hope that you're doing well. But thank you again for that juvenile dogman story that you have been sitting on since 1994. That is incredible, incredible stuff. But, hey, Lisa Ray is the new wrench holder. Marquita Jones is a new wrench holder over there. And Thaddeus Craig is over there. Hey, where is TC? I sent her a Discord message, hey, get your butt over here so I can give you a wrench. In the private chat, in the To the Trees for the wrench holders over on Chasing the Truth server. I need to, hold on a second. We need to send that out. If you didn't know, Chasing the Truth actually does have a Discord server, and for the things that we cannot say over here on YouTube, for the things that we cannot discuss, or we got to use code words, we can say those uncoded words over there. Over in Chasing the Truth. Thaddeus Cray's over there. Lisa's definitely over there in Chasing the Truth. Let me see if I can get that. Hold on just a second. I'll post. I actually have all control. I control the volume. I control the vertical, the horizontal, the everything in Chasing the Truth over here on this YouTube channel. So, holy cow. Yeah, thank you, Marquita, for holding that wrench. You've been a great supporter. You've been posting like crazy. Words cannot explain how thankful I am for you. For being a part of Chasing the Truth, the Dark Waters family. Definitely. Hold on a second. Let me jump over here in the Discord and produce an invite. An invite. So let's see. No, let's see. Create. No, I don't want to create a channel. I want to create an invite. Yeah, there we go. Create an invite. And let's see. Edit the link. Select. No limit. And then let's say never on this one. And then generate the new link and copy that link. So I'm going to post a Discord server invite. If you like Discord or have never been on Discord, it's a place where you can do live chat. You can do live audio, video chat over there. And we do that over there occasionally. So here we go. If you want to be part of the Chasing the Truth Discord server, go right ahead. Here comes the link. If you want to be a part of it, go for it. I appreciate everybody has been a part of the show. Can you believe it's been an hour and 22 minutes? Hour and 22 minutes. And since I started this thing, crazy, this thing called Chasing the Truth. Do you believe, I had a couple of things. I was listening to an old Art Bell show. And he led off with, do you believe that aliens are good or bad? Are they all good or all bad? Or are they in between or indifferent? Which one would you be more scared of? One that would be friendly, one that was indifferent, or one that was just straight up not associated with anything? Hold on just a second. Let me see what I got here. Console. Oh, we got another caller here. Well, let's get this show going. Hello, this is Chasing the Truth. You got Shawn here. Who do I have on board and where are you from?
How's it going, Shawn? This is Jack. James in the chat.
Hey, I've talked to you before. What's going on, brother?
Not too much. Just had a couple short UFO stories. One was mine, one was my grandfather's, and then I got a longer story that was my friend's. I was hoping he would tell it. He said eventually he was going to record it for me. So I don't know if there's any way to play it for you guys that way out of his mouth, but he told me that he gave me permission to go ahead and tell. He just didn't want to use his name or anything.
All right. Well,
it was,
go ahead. I'd
love
to
an
hear.
Angel that.
Oh yeah. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
But I'll go with the short ones first, I guess. Back in '99, we went to Potato Creek State Park, or actually we were planning it for a couple weeks in the summer to go camping at Potato Creek State Park, which is East Indiana, not quite Ohio. And it was going to be probably like 4 or 5 of us, and everybody bailed except my little brother and one of our other friends. And we called in advance to make reservations to book a campsite, and they said there was no need, that there would be open spots or whatever. So we get there, and there's no available spots, of course. So then we tried to drive down the road to another camp resort, and it didn't have a lake, and we were planning on doing a lot of fishing and stuff. So we went back, and I decided to rent the boat for the whole week or whatever and just paid up front, and we were going to either plan on camping where we weren't allowed to on the other side of the lake where there wasn't a campground for not having a spot, or we were just going to stay on the water in the boat for a night just to see if something opened up. But long story short, one of my friends, he ends up getting into the liquor that we saved for the campsite or whatever that we were going to drink, and he retired early. He got hammered or whatever. Me and my younger brother, we didn't even drink at all. And he fell asleep like in the hottest part of the day in the sun in the boat, face up, so he didn't get to really witness much. We woke him up to show it to him, but once it got around midnight or whatever, everything calmed down. Nobody was fishing, and it's a pretty big lake in this park. And I started to notice a red-looking star way off in the distance. I thought maybe it was like Mars or something where you could, I'm not into that stuff, so I didn't know if like you could see Mars at some point without a telescope, and that's what we were witnessing or whatever. And then it's kind of changed direction a little bit on us, not nothing any like fast or fancy like movement or anything. And I was thinking, well, we kind of both were looking at it, me and my younger brother, and at the time I'm probably 18, 19, and he's probably like 13, 14, and we're both kind of staring at it, and it changes direction a few times, so I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a helicopter and we can only see the one light on it or something like that, giving it the benefit of the doubt. And at this distance, like I said, it looked like a planet way out, like the distance that we were maybe possibly able to see. Then it started to move to where the light got brighter and came in closer to the park, and we really started to get a good look at it, and I told him to drop the anchor in the front of the boat, even though there wasn't any wind out at night. And I dropped the one in the back just to see if maybe we were drifting because the motor was cut off, just to see if maybe it was us moving and like the optical illusion. But then it started kind of doing zigzags and circles, and we really started to pay attention and keep an eye on it. And it would kind of like zoom in, not quite into the park, but it would look like it was a couple towns over, that close, instead of like way off in the distance. And then it started to raise up in the sky, do a weird zigzag motion, a little bit of circular motion. And then as it's doing a circular oval motion, I don't know if you remember like in the 80s how like the beginning of like VHS movies, they had like the Orion stars like circling before they like spread out and spell the word Orion. It was kind of like doing that circle. And another one came out of this circle that was a lot smaller than the reddish circle we were looking at. It shot off to like the bottom right side. It was mimicking the same motions the bigger one was doing that it came off of. And at that point, I told him to pull up the anchor. I pulled up mine, and not that we were going to run any faster on the shore to the car or get away or anything if it wanted to do something, but yeah, we took the boat in towards shore, kicked my buddy a few times in the ribs, told him to get up. We were taking off towards the car to hang out to see what's going to happen, if he wanted to or whatever. And he kind of got mad at us and asked us what we were bothering him about. So we pointed and showed him, and he kind of said, yeah, I seen it, and went back to sleep because he was oblivious from drinking or whatever. And we're like, all right, see yourself. And we took off with the car and watched it maybe like another 10 minutes. But yeah, it was nothing like super scary. But for a second, we thought maybe it was going to get real close to us just because we were witnessing the motion of it. But later on, I looked up just to see if there was any military bases near or anything. And there's kind of like a smaller airstrip base there at Culver, but nothing too big or.
So how long ago was this story?
Yeah, I don't know whether it related to like a government project that maybe we didn't know about, and we were just witnessing something that the military has, or we never really got a good look at it.
How long ago was this story? You said?
But yeah, that's all I have on the UFO story that me and him seen. And my grandfather, I asked him actually before I even seen this if he ever seen or witnessed anything like that, and he said that when he got out of World War II, him and his little brother decided they were going to go fishing, and they lived in Chicago, but they were going to go to Cedar Lake, which is not probably only 60, 70 miles out of Chicago. And the water was real clear, and they were just going to go fishing since they had time or whatever then.
Hey, so how long ago was this? How long ago was this? You said 13 or 14 you were, or?
Oh, my brother was 13, 14.
Oh,
My
okay.
little brother. This was in 99 that I seen the
99.
one in
All
Cocke
right.
Creek State Park. So I was like 18, going to be 19 that year. But no, my grandpa's story I'm not sure the year, but I know it was after World War II, so it was sometime after 45. But he said him and his little brother were out on the boat on Cedar Lake, which is where I grew up when I was younger. And I've always known it as a kind of muddy, clarity lake to where you couldn't really see through it or anything. But I guess then you could see down quite a few, 20 feet or more. And it was that clear before algae took over. And he said that they looked kind of down because they seen an orange glowing ball in the lake. And my grandpa said his first instinct was to look up because he thought it was maybe a reflection, and he really wasn't seeing it down in the water, and there was nothing above him. And I kind of asked my grandpa, I'm like, so what happened next? He's like, what do you mean? We ordered the boat out of there. They didn't even have a motor. He's like, we just got off the lake. But yeah, it was the only time he told me he's ever seen anything UFO. I guess, I don't know if that's considered like USO, but the only thing that he's ever seen craft-wise or glowing ball-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird because we kind of seen the same colorish light, but ours was up in the air pretty far out. He was claiming that him and his brother seen it in the water.
So was there any noise been reported during this whole, both of them?
No, not that he explained. I asked him if there was anything more to it, and he was just like, no. Asked me, like, were you crazy? We got out of there. So I was just like, what happened next? What'd you do? And there wasn't anything, like, to add to it other than they agreed on getting out of there and being safe, I guess.
Oh, wow. Well, Jack,
Man,
man,
like I said,
I always love a good UFO report. They're for a
yeah,
while.
like I said, they were short, but
Yeah, hey, the short ones are the ones that are jammy packed with details that you just don't normally hear, and you're just like, what did he say he saw? That kind of stuff, and you're just like, okay, I've never seen anything like that before, but I have. Back in 2012, I saw one. I actually got a report on it. I actually posted it a couple of times. The report to newfork.com. That was an interesting report. But so when did you see this UFO? What age were you?
I was like 18.
18. And how old are you now?
Yeah, 99. I'm 40 now.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
so this has been stuck with you all this time? Did it stimulate a want to find out? Has anybody else seen this kind of thing? Did you get a UFO bug?
I haven't really been back there in the night or to camp overnight since that's happened that long ago. I have gone there in the daytime just to fish, and we would leave. We just use the lake or whatever, but actually camping-wise, I haven't been back there we weren't really supposed to be on the lake at night. Not that changes anything, but not too many people were even like on the shore or anything fishing when it came towards night and dark. So I don't know if anybody else witnessed in the park at the time. If anybody else witnessed what we seen too, because it is pretty like woodsy. And when you're like in the campsites, you're kind of blocked unless you're looking straight up. But being out on this big lake, well, if it's a creek, the Army Engineer Corps dammed up, it's pretty wide, so you're able to see pretty good distance each way.
So what do you think these UFOs are? Are they actually alien?
I had no really impossible guess. I've never put it past that our government wouldn't have something that could make the motions like it. I mean, this thing was moving pretty fast, had been moving several hundreds of miles an hour, if not more, and then would just hit the brakes and change like a diagonal up direction or down direction, where it's just, at that point, we ruled out anything we knew of that, like a helicopter wasn't going to turn and make that speed and go a different direction that quick. Because for a while, we were just wondering maybe if it was a helicopter coming towards us, and that's why it wasn't changing direction, I guess.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So do you think there's aliens visiting us, or is that UFO man-made?
That will probably never know, but I guess I believe that there's aliens. I just don't think that, I don't know, I guess I believe that if there's aliens, they obviously have pretty good technology, so why would they waste the time to mess with it too much? But I guess as far as trusting the government, I wouldn't put anything past them, saying that they are who they are or acting like them and try and experiment stuff without taking blame, I guess, but anything's possible.
True enough. Well, Jack, I appreciate you calling in and giving us those two stories, one from 99 and one from earlier, I believe. What year was the one?
One more. What's that?
What year was the one that the fellow that you could not say his name, what year was that from?
Oh, that's a completely different story. That was the fallen angel story I was going to tell.
Okay, well, I'd like to hear that one.
He was 17, so I've been able to ask him quite a few questions because, like I said, I kind of wanted him to tell it because it's so detailed and so long that I don't know if I'll give it justice. But we figured out that it was probably 1995 that this happened when he was 17.
Okay.
And it was not Halloween night, but around there. And then another question I asked him was if there was a full moon, just to, I guess, throw that out there to ask. And he said he did remember the moon being full, but not knowing if it was a full moon, but it being there, it being mostly full, I guess. But his words are, he's staying at a single level duplex, and the buddy he's there with, I'm friends with too, and these guys are a little bit older than me, but the parents weren't home, so they were kind of just hanging out, being teenagers or whatever, and out of nowhere it was kind of like a hurricane wind, and it was already dark out late or whatever. He said probably had been past 10 o'clock, and the wind just picked up to where it looked like a hurricane was blowing in, even though we're not near any ocean or shoreline like that. And they remember like the screen door slamming or something, and they went to shut the screen door, and the wind stopped, and when he went to shut the door, a foot went in the doorway like a boot, and it stopped him from shutting the door, and he didn't see anybody before he went, like he looked around, I guess he said. But when he went to shut the screen door, out of nowhere, a foot like appeared in a whole body, but he noticed the foot at first in the boot, stopped the screen door from shutting, and the guy kind of opened it up, and he didn't recognize the guy. He thought the guy looked a little weird, and then he realized this big guy wearing he described it as a black trench coat and a hat, but not like a cowboy hat, but it was like a round brimmed hat. And he kind of opened the door and let himself in, and them being teenagers, they weren't too worried about the guy overpowering them because they didn't know at first what they were even witnessing or who this guy was. But then he noticed that there was this little short guy that was with this bigger guy too. And he said there was something definitely off about the little guy. He didn't really talk right. Like when he would say stuff, he was like almost like he was just kissing this guy's butt, I guess, is the way he described it. Like he was there to kiss this guy's butt or something. But at first, my buddy said he thought his other two friends were playing a joke on him, and it was like kind of like a setup. And after he talked to the one that remembered what happened, he kind of also come up with the story that he thought the other two guys were playing a joke on them, and somebody knew this guy, and it was just some kind of elaborate hoax or elaborate way to get a laugh out of somebody, to scare somebody. But the bigger guy that was there out of the three kind of dismissed him and made fun of the guy for claiming to be a fallen angel, because he said that I think I got another call, but he said that he was a fallen angel and he was here to get a decision. And they kind of joked around at first about it, like, oh yeah, who are you and what do you really want? And one guy, I guess, laid into him pretty good, and he said he motioned with his hand for him to go to sleep, and he said go to sleep, and I guess the guy put his head, like he was already sitting down on a seat, like in a chair, recliner, but he just put his head down like he instantly went to sleep. And then the other two still thought that somebody was in on it and they were playing the joke, like somebody knew this guy and like set him up this way. And he said the guy takes off the trench coat and the hat, and at that point he can see his face a little bit, but when he throws his trench coat towards the couch, it folds up 3 times and the hat lands on top of the trench coat. And he said at that point he was really alarmed, because whether they were playing a joke on him or not, he was like, okay, that doesn't happen, like, what's really going on here? And the guy just wanted to talk to him, and he said that his face didn't look almost human. It had the shape of like a human, but he said like where his temples were stuck out a little further, and his skin was like almost a gray whitish. Like it wasn't like he almost wasn't human. But
so how
he already claimed that.
Did he say what color hair this thing had?
You know what? I don't think I ever asked him that, so I will have to ask him that next time I talk to him. But yeah, he just remembers like how I was asking him if it reminded him of like a reptilian person type, and he really didn't know what that was. But he said, no, I don't think that's really what he's like. It didn't look reptilian. It just didn't look right. He didn't look normal. And then he said at that point when he seen the coat, this trench coat, black one, fold up 3 times and the hat land on it, he had a knife that he bought earlier that day, and he never really paid too much attention to it. He just bought it because he thought it looked cool or whatever. And he said that when he put his hand on it, just out of like being worried, I guess, from seeing that, and the guy tipped his head up, he said, and he smiled and said that he thought he smelled Spanish steel. And he kind of like wondered at that point, like maybe what his knife said. And then when he looked at it, it said made in Spain. Then he said that's when it like the cue for him to really like it freaked him out, because he's just like, how does this guy doesn't know me? He wasn't with us earlier. He somehow smells the air and acts like he can smell that I have a Spanish steel knife. He's like, what's the chances of, like, he's telling me this, he's thinking this in his head. And then the other friend kind of, that's still there, that the one that didn't go to sleep, because there was 3 of them, he kind of starts in asking stuff too, and he tells him that he can make him go to sleep too. And he kind of like had a smart ass answer towards him, and he motioned his hand, and he said that he was kind of like, at that point, drooling on himself, and he put his head down, but he wasn't sleeping like the other guy, but he was kind of like mumbling something, like he was almost like having a seizure, but not having the motion, just like the talking part, I guess, or the mumble part of it. And so then at that point, it was just him talking to this guy that was wearing the coat and the little guy that never took off the coat or whatever. And he said that he wanted to know where he stood between good and evil. And my friend was asking, well, why would it matter? Who am I? Like, what does it matter? Why would you even come to me and ask me where I stand? Or like, why does my opinion even matter or whatever? And then he said he remembered asking him where he stood. The same question that was asked to him, he asked back and said, well, where do you stand? And he said, I like it the way it is. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, I like the way things are going right now because he has freedom. Mm-hmm. And if something changes, then I don't know if that meant like he was getting judged or things were going to change and people were going to have to be tallied, but that's kind of like the way he kind of thought maybe.
If he's a fallen angel, he was put here out of heaven because he warred against God himself. So he got pushed here not by his will. So he probably doesn't want to see the end pop up, I would say.
Well, no, he was saying that he liked the way everything was, and my friend just kept asking why does my opinion matter about anything? Like, who am I? Basically, not thinking much of himself. I wouldn't either. I've been like, why? Wouldn't that be like a worldly question, not just one person or whatever? And he told him that to keep his eye on the moon because that will be his answer to know when he'll have to make a decision because the end will be near. And he still kind of thought, wow, this guy's like out there, but what he's already witnessed is pretty crazy. And then he said the guy picked up his hat, he picked up his coat, and he didn't motion or anything for the other two to like come back. And one was like, I guess almost like snoring, sleeping. And the other one was still, he said at one point he was saying something like he started to talk, but it wasn't really, if it wasn't English, it was in a different accent. Mm-hmm. And the guy was he said that the guy was like having a conversation through his friend. Like his friend wasn't who his friend was. It was almost like he was a telephone or something and he was talking to somebody else through him, like having a conversation through his friend's body. And then he told him that he would know when the time was right to make an answer or to make a decision because of the moon. And I'm probably leaving out a ton of details because, like I said, it's a long, detailed story. He said he's going to record it for me, so.
Okay. During this discussion about watch the moon, was there any details about what would occur with the moon? Did the moon disappear? Did the moon, on some of the alien movies, have a big chunk pop out of it, or what?
I want to say he said the answer would be in the moon something, or maybe there would be a sign on the moon when it was like too late for him to decide or make a decision. He just thought that was weird, and it was weird that he announced that he was a fallen angel. And he said he did tell him his name right off the bat at the beginning, and we sat there and kind of went through videos of listening to fallen angel names. Mm-hmm. And he said it was like it ended in like the name Gabriel or Ezekiel, like the eel at the end, but it wasn't either of those names. He just said it was like a weird name. Like if he heard it, he would remember what it was, but he couldn't tell me like what it was.
I wonder if that is by design. I wonder if that's by design. Fallen angel comes to you and says, "My name is Bathaziel," or whatever. And you hear it, and then all of a sudden your memory's blanked of it, but you can hear it like an echo in your mind.
That's kind of how he described it.
Oh, okay.
What you just said is kind of like how he felt about it. Like if it was almost like he was not quite erased, like the other guy kind of remembered them showing up too, but he didn't remember what happened after he went to sleep. But the other guy was oblivious to any of it. He don't remember them even showing up. The guy that got made fun of him got put to sleep first. Like he don't have any recollection of even seeing these two guys, where the other guy did, but he didn't remember what happened to him after he made fun of him. He blanked out. He also told my friend that if he wanted to, he could make him forget everything that he's being told right now, and he wouldn't remember it. And I want to say he said something to him, and he gave him, it did something to where for like a minute he felt like it was hard for him to think. And he had to just sit there and listen to this guy. He couldn't respond or say anything back.
So he was just an unwitting, watching a movie in front of him, listening to a story. He couldn't respond. He was just forced to watch, not participate. That's interesting.
Right, like paralysis, I guess.
Yeah.
But he said the part that really scared him the most is when the guy sniffed the air like he was a dog or something and said, "I smell Spanish steel," and smiled. and he just bought that knife earlier that day from like a flea market or something. He said, he's like, when I glanced down and seen that's what it was, like that's when I started to worry. Well, like, what am I getting myself? Like, what is this?
So,
who called that? Like, who predicted
so where
that?
where did this encounter occur? What state was it?
Cedar Lake, the same place that my grandfather and his brother seen the water ball, and the same town I actually seen the owl, the 6-foot owl, and whatever that was in the park. I told the story. It's the same town. So.
That's
and he actually had a few other weird, like, demonic stories that we went over that him and his brother both experienced together. And yeah, we started to wonder how many houses in that town have like a demonic spirit maybe possibly living in it, or just that many in the area, because it does seem weird after we started to like tally up and hear weird stuff from other people. But
I believe that story. It's just got that air of, yeah, I can see that happening.
I really want like him to come on and tell it. Like I said, he's willing to. He said that he was going to record it for me, so at least you can hear it from his words and his voice. But
yeah, I'd love to hear that.
I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to get him to just call in and not use his name and use my phone if he wanted to, and just to tell it, because like I said, I don't think I can give it justice, the detail that he tells. Yeah. I've never really witnessed him tell it. Only like his brother and like maybe one other guy. Otherwise, I'm the only person he's probably told it to a couple times, because it just sounds so crazy. But yeah, the story's not over. When he's done talking to him, he said that he opens the door and the wind starts up again like a hurricane, and the door slams shut, and he jumps up because he can move, and he looks out the door real quick right after it just shut, and nothing's there. You don't see, you don't hear anybody. I mean, it's dark, but there's street lights on that road or whatever, so you don't see anybody move away. And then he shuts the door and he sits down and he says, like, literally like less than a minute later, his older brother shows up, and he was running to get to the house or whatever, and he's like, I don't know, man. He's just like, I had this weird feeling that something was wrong, and I was just checking a few places that I thought you were at, his older brother, and he's like, I just had this feeling. This is the one that him and his brother had, like, possibly a demonic spirit living in this house when they were kids or whatever, because he's told me a few weird stories where, like, stuff would come out of the closet, or books and toys would fly out of the closet, and they'd get in trouble for destroying a room or getting into stuff at night when it wasn't them, and they were trying to like explain to the stepdad and the mom that something's in the closet that comes out every now and then, and it's making the mess. And they kind of like told them to stop watching scary movies and stuff like that. But,
Well, Jack, that was some incredible stories, UFO stories, and a fallen angel story. The weird thing is if you know, research the Bible, research the Quran, they talk about fallen angels. They are not born of this world. So are they governed by this world?
Like the Watchers, kind of?
Yeah. Are they governed by the rules of this world? The physical rules, or the quote unquote science rules? Or gravity, you name it. Are they born of that? Are they governed by that? That's hard to say, but I dare say.
It seems like they're definitely not from here, so to me that almost makes them extraterrestrial to me right there, like alien. If you're not from here, you're from somewhere else, and that, I guess, already falls in the definition.
True enough. I would love to talk. Yeah. I would like to talk to. Was it your brother that had this fallen angel story? I'd love to talk to him.
No, this was my friend. He's just a really good friend of mine that had for years, and he's just like 3-4 years older than me.
Okay, well, if you can ever talk to him,
I got to hang out with the older kids because
Yeah, if he just
Whatever
wants
reason, I
to,
guess.
if he don't want to say it on air, just have him call me at that the number that you called. I would love to just
Yeah,
hear
like
that.
I said, I was trying to get him to call with my phone. That way he's not leaving his name or whatever. But I just wanted, I told him, I was like, you know what, thanks for giving me permission, but I can't do justice like you can telling it because he's seeing it when he's telling me.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, Jack, I appreciate you calling in. And anytime you want to call in, if you get an update on what that color of that fallen angel's hair was, or more details about it, let me know. All right.
Well, in a way, I want to say that he said it was bald, but I don't want to say that and then not remember that's what he said. But
what color the eyes were?
Exactly.
You said he was pale grayish looking. How tall it was? Was it
like
stocky
blue,
built? But it was a stocky. Was he stocky built? Flabby?
Yeah, he said he was over 6 foot, probably closer like 6'4", 6'5", but he didn't say he was like super big for that height. I guess weight wise.
Right.
I guess not slender, but not like huge for that height.
That's interesting. Well, Jack...
Yeah, I tried to ask as many questions as I could before I did try to tell it. Like I told him, I was like, man...
Anytime you got the experience, you've been told to you, which I've had a bunch of experiences told to me, and tried to recall, well, what did he or she say about this particular thing? That's why I keep asking questions. Saying, hey, did you mention...
Oh, no, yeah, it's not...
Yeah, that's
not a problem at all.
Yeah. But if you do get an update,
I can only imagine me asking him questions because I had a million for him after the first time he told me the story.
Yeah, well, one time, that's one of the things that I like to do, get somebody that's on here, just give them the mic and let them talk it out. Sometimes it takes them a minute to get wound up or, feel like, hey, I'm not talking to, how many people's listening on here now. That's the stage fright issue. Let them get over the stage fright issue, and they start, kind of sinking into the show and then sharing the truth. Why not? Just
right. Yeah, he did listen to it just a few times, just because I let him listen to tell mine, which he's already heard.
Oh, okay.
I just figured maybe it would inspire him to.
I would love to,
stories or whatever that he heard.
Whoever your name is that's friending with Jack, I would love to talk to you, either on air or off air. You got my number. Please call me one way or other. I'd love to be able to hear that story completely through from your point of view.
Like I said, at the minimal, he said he was going to record it for me, so I don't know if there's any way that I could somehow push play on something over the phone just to hear it through his words, but I would really like him to. He's probably asking questions that I didn't even think of or anything, so.
Yeah, well.
And he's willing to hear and listen to anybody because he's had his own questions about it because he thought it was so weird.
Well, I met both demon and devil and possessed alike. So that being said, I've got a bunch of questions to ask. Definitely that fellow. Whatever his name is, I would love to at least, call him a friend. And then if he ever does decide to call me, whether offline or online, it doesn't matter to me. I'd like to hear that story, definitely. But Jack, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I'm gonna have to hop off here because I got a bunch of stuff I got to do tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to end this call real quick. But I appreciate you calling in as always, Jack. Anytime you want to call in, just call in. You got the number. But thank you, sir.
Thanks, Shawn.
God bless you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Okay.
See ya. Bye. All right, Jack. That's as easy as you get. Call in just like that. And like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff I got to do tomorrow. But for the folks that are staying around for this last little bit, it does not cost you a thing to hit that like button. It does not cost you a thing to share this stream out. It does not cost you a thing to subscribe. If you like what you hear, I want to keep doing this kind of stuff. Now, this Saturday night, over on the Dark Waters channel, on his YouTube channel, I'm going to have Chris Garcia, woo guy, psychic extraordinaire. I've had him on my show a couple, heck, I don't even know. I'll have to sit down and count out how many shows he's been on. But I'm going to have Chris Garcia Saturday night, 7, 9 p.m. Central over there on Dark Waters channel. Please, please, please go over there and, hit some love over there. Subscribe if you have not. I guess a lot of Dark Waters folks are over here. But J.K. Grunch, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you showing up and listening to this Chasing the Truth. And I noticed that you were looking for Christian Dogman kind of twists and stuff. Now, I am a Christian. I have had a extraordinary long near-death experience. I was in a coma for at least 10 days. I woke up a different man, met God the devil and a bunch of other entities that I would like to say, yeah, they were angels. Some were demons. Some were not of this world at all. Somebody asked me the other day, did you see Dogman or Bigfoot in heaven? And that's the strangest question. Nobody's ever asked me that. It got me thinking. And I was like, oh, is this going to trigger some sort of recall? And it hasn't yet, but it hit me so strange. It hit me so strange that, who knows, I might find it in my sleep, the answer to that. I don't know the answer to it because a large portion of it, even though I remember enough to fill volumes of Encyclopedia Britannicas, volumes of it. There's some of it I honestly don't remember. The last parting gift when I met Satan, the devil, the great, oh God, just thinking about all the stuff that entity, the most evil, shared with me. I cannot believe people follow that damned entity. I honestly don't. As much as I felt just a little bit I felt from it. Wanted to literally destroy me down to the atom, recreate me and destroy me again, and wanted to do that over and over again. I don't know. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Doesn't cost you a penny to do that. And that's just interesting to say. Hey, I just got an alert. Josh just subscribed to my channel. Appreciate you, Josh. And I appreciate all the folks that have become part of the CTT supporters. And your names are over there. And if you do, find the need to support, I've got Cash App and I've got the PayPal, if you want to do that. And, the biggest thing is I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. That right there will push this channel over into who knows what. The bigger the channel grows, the more this place called Chasing the Truth with Shawn Graham will explode. I have a sneaky suspicion. People say you can smell music in heaven, see colors that aren't on earth. Micah, I will tell you that. Oh yeah, Micah, I appreciate you joining the Chasing the Truth server. Let's see if anybody else popped over there. But let's see. Let me going over and look into the Chasing the Truth. Yep, just Micah so far. But if you want to be a part of that, I'm going to go ahead and drop that one last time, that Discord link over there. If you want. Oh, crap, that's the wrong one. I can't believe I just did that. I've got it squirreled away up here in my Discord. There you go. If you want to be a part of the Discord server, here's the link for you. Just dropped it. What I cannot cover over here on YouTube, man, over on the Paranormal Radio app, which, that being said, folks, is crazy, crazy, crazy. Just be careful, Shawn. Well, I'll try to be. I'm not exactly sure what just be careful is about, but I was about ready to drop another YouTube channel in there. I don't know what the YouTube channel was, but there you go. Chase, I appreciate you calling in. Jack, definitely Wes, Thaddeus Craig. Go over to Thaddeus Craig's channel on YouTube. Subscribe to him. Wow. Lisa Ray, I appreciate you holding the wrench. And all the other wrench holders. I seen Happy, JL over there, pop in. JK, I would like to hear your stories. I really would. But like I said, I've got to do a lot of stuff tomorrow, and I think I'm going to just go ahead. I know some people are probably wanting to call in, but I think that's it for tonight, folks. Saturday night I'll be interviewing the woo-woo guy, the psychic, Chris Garcia. Chris Garcia, if you know that guy, he's over on YouTube. I think he's got his own YouTube channel, pretty sure. He's definitely got Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, but I'll be posting the links to that here next day or so. But I'm out of here, folks. But definitely, if you want to reach out to me, Shawn G at imdarkwaters.com is my email address. The number is the same, 931-994-6917. And if you want to reach out to me over on Skype, Chasing the Truth 2018 is my Skype handle. And just to, I've got Stan Deo. Stan Deo has agreed to be on my show August 28th. StanDeo.com. Look at that fellow. Crazy. Just, if you don't feel like, donating the money that folds, donate a like, a subscribe, share this thing out. That will help tremendously. God bless everybody. And let me say a quick prayer, as I have been doing, finishing the last few shows with this. Just because of the sensitive manners that we talk about on this thing. Dear God in heaven, I come before you in Jesus Christ's name to ask that you bless this show. Bless the listeners and participants, the folks that join in later and participate in the comments. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ on each and every one of them. Definitely, please, dear God, find them and, at least say, hey, God, I'm here, which each and every one of us have been exposed to that in whatever way that you have given him. Please bless each and every one of them. Please bless each and every one that has been a part of this Chasing the Truth family, the Dark Waters family. And keep everybody safe and secure from everything that is evil, demonic, extraterrestrial, satanic, interdimensional, and just bless them in the name of Jesus Christ and their families. Bless those folks that have called into my show. The last show, Jennifer from Illinois that has cancer. Please bless her and her family. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ on her and her family and ask for a miracle in her life. Thank you, God, for this show. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Folks, I appreciate you, folks. Please subscribe at least. If you want to donate, subscribe a donation. That's it. Subscribe to this thing. Trying to get to 1,000. And wow. That's all I can tell you. God is awe. So anyway, getting off here, folks. I appreciate you. And let's hit this little sound effects. The one that I like so well that I created. So nobody can copy claim it or whatever. Well, let's see. But meet me Saturday night over on the Dark Waters YouTube channel and uprntalkradio.com 107.7 FM Saturday night. Here we go. Whoa, I was about ready to hit the wrong button and not play anything. Here we go. Thanks, folks. See you Saturday.
Do ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death?
It looks like a giant ape with a man's face.
We've done some testing to determine if it is a synthesizer or not.
It's starting to come at me.
It's very difficult to do with the system. This is what it actually is. and they tried to grab me.
What do we think that is?
It was my baseball glove. No, my old one.
No worse enemy. What was